We still hustle daily. What's going on, Hustle Nation? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Big Play Ray coming to y'all with another video. Smash that like button for your boy. I greatly appreciate y'all for all the love and support y'all been showing me, man. We got another story time for y'all. So we listen and we don't judge. She fell in love with an African. I think they got married within 90 days. We're about to check it out. Make sure y'all like the video. I already told y'all that. Make sure y'all subscribe. And make sure y'all follow my big YouTube channel called We Hustle Daily. Because we still hustle daily over here. Let's get it.
We listen and we don't judge. I fell in love with an African. I'm not going to say what country he was from. But no, he was not from Nigeria. Because if you know, you know. Okay, so
What's
I
wrong
met
with
an
Nigeria?
African when I was overseas on a solo vacation. And I fell in love. Literally came back home to where I lived in Mexico, and we continued to talk for a few months, 3. And, you know, somehow there was a proposal, or maybe there wasn't, but I was like, you know, I'm getting married, and I really love him. And then I fly back to Africa, and then and I know Africa is a continent, but I'm not ready to disclose the country yet. So I fly back to Africa, and we get married. And actually, the day that we got married was the 10th day we saw each other in person.
Dang.
Okay, so then we get married. And then the guy was like, okay, well, you know, I really want you to live here with me, like, in my country. And I was like, like, you have to come with me to the country I live in because, you know, God forbid some shit pop off. I don't want to be asked out in your country. Even though technically I would have never been asked out just because I have the resources, the connections, I would have been asked out, but that was just the fear inside of me speaking. And then at the end of the day, I don't know what the fuck I don't know. So I really could have been asked out, but God just don't be doing things to me like that. Okay, so we do everything we have to do, so much work, money, time to get him to Mexico where I stay. Just for him to get to Mexico, get settled. I put him on at a black-owned restaurant job in Mexico, making good money, He ends up, it ends up not working out with him in that job. He goes to the job to get his last paycheck for the day. And when he went to go get his paycheck, I was like, okay, I love you, Of course, we have we have newly marital issues. We have culture differences. There's religion differences, and for real, we just really don't know each other. And you know, I'm already having the thoughts like, dang, like clearly I rushed it, but like, hey, we here, and you know, we have our good days. So he went to go pick up his check, and why the fuck he never came home? Like never came home. Like we listen, we don't judge, because. Oh, and I forgot to say, he went to go get his check 3 months ago.
Boy disappeared.
Still waiting to come back home with that check.
He took his money. He gone. Shit.
I got that. Look, some of y'all probably judging me because I'm judging myself. Oh, this is so embarrassing. But hey.
It is what it is.
Won't be the first, won't be the last.
Oh,
and
shit.
That's not even all of it.
Part 2 of We Listen, We Don't Judge, my 90-day fiance's story where my African husband just upped and left me with no explanation at all. I just want to remind y'all that this has happened 3 months ago, so I'm just trying to get these videos out as fast as I can with my job and stuff. But so the day that he left, the day before he left, we were sitting down having dinner, and he just randomly just gave me this heartfelt, like, I love you and things are gonna get better, like, I want to be with you, all this stuff. It really kind of came from out of nowhere, but that's typically how he talks, so I didn't really think much of it. But I was thinking kind of like, dang, what's going on? He sat at the kitchen table in front of me, and he made a video on my phone, but it was to me, but it was in his native language, which is not English. English is the second language. So he did the whole video. It was a 5-minute video, and he did it in his native language. And this is the night before he disappeared. And when he finished the video, and the video only stopped because my phone ran out of memory. But when he finished the video, I was like, and I understand some of his language. Like, I heard him say, my wife, so beautiful, I love you. And just by his body language and his tone, I can tell it was a lovey-dovey video. So I was saying, like, if that video is for me, how am I supposed to know what it means if I'm not fluent in your language? And he was just like, oh, I'm sure one day you'll be fluent and you'll understand this video. So I'm thinking, oh, this is not nothing that I need to translate right now. It's a dire emergency that I understand what's in this video. Okay, boom. And then we went to sleep. Fine. Then that's when the next day he went to go get his check. Mind you, when he went to go get his check, he called me when he was at the restaurant and he was saying, hey, they don't have enough cash to give me your banking information and they'll transfer you my check. And I told him, I said, hey, I don't want to be managing your money like that. Just tell them to, like, you can come in the next day and get the rest of the cash so you can have your own money. He was like, no, I just want them to transfer it to you. I want to be done with this place. Like, just give me your banking information. I gave him my banking information. The money was transferred into my account. That's why I was so confused when he upped and left. Like, he transferred me over half his check. He got a few dollars in cash, but he really transferred me mostly everything. So the night that he left, he stopped sharing his location. Around 7 p.m. I was like, hey, I'm about to get ready to go hang out with some friends. What do you want me to bring home for dinner? And he was like, oh, well, I'm in another part of Mexico right now, which is like an hour away, where I went to go look for the police station. He's like, hey, I'm just an hour away. I'm looking for some work because as a man, I need to like find work. I need to be able to provide for my family. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine, all, but it's getting dark and you don't know that's out of town. And what time are the buses? Like, I'm thinking of the logistics stuff. Like, how are you looking for work at 7 o'clock at night and the bus is about to stop running and you don't even know how to really navigate the bus system? You don't speak Spanish. Who are you with? So I was just like, hey, just make sure you home. Just make sure you get on the bus that's coming home tonight. And then that's when I finished hanging out with my friends. When I got home, I never saw him again. And that was September 20th. Ugh, it's just so much. It's so much. Okay, that's when the next day I went to go all these places to go look for him, police stations, all that stuff. I'm driving and it hits me. Well, my friends, they're driving and it hits me. It was like, oh, he made that video for you. Maybe you should like translate that video. I really thought nothing of it because it seemed like a I love you video. So I reached out to one of my homegirls that's speak his native language. And I said, hey, can you translate this video that my husband left me last night? He's missing. I don't know what's going on. Mind you, his daddy allegedly, because I don't trust nothing he say no more. His daddy allegedly was a military soldier for his country back in 2012, and his daddy told him and his family, hey, at 2012 my husband was 18, same as me. Hey, I'm gonna go on a vacation, a solo trip. I'll be back. He has not heard from his daddy since 2012. So, of course, I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about, dang, your daddy went missing. His mom abandoned him. Like, he has a lot of abandonment. Like, people abandon him in his life. So I was like, hey, homegirl, can you translate this for me? Because I hope he ain't pulling no stuff like his daddy or no. I hope this ain't no Dear Jane, love book, love. What is it? So she wrote back. Of course, there's a huge time difference. So she's way in Africa. And she wrote back immediately. She was like, I wonder if I can play the audio for you guys. She was like, hey, Kia, I'm so sorry that your husband is missing, but I looked at the video. And yes, the video is a goodbye video. He left on purpose. I'm so sorry. He's saying that he loves you and you're his wife.
I ain't gonna lie, I would have wanted to know what that video said right off the back. You feel me? How many of y'all would have wanted to know what the video said right off back? Like, come on, bro. Like, I would have translated that shit quick. You feel me? What are you talking about?
I did when I realized he was gone was I called my pastor, which is also our marriage counselor. Got on the phone with her. We prayed all that night. I did not go to sleep that night. Once I realized, like, wait, something is wrong. He's never not come home. Like, everything was fine. He stopped answering his text messages. Called my pastor. We prayed. Then I had some good friend of mine drive me out to the next city to go look at hospitals and jails for him. Because I'm like, maybe something happened. He got caught up. Maybe he got picked up I don't know. So we went to 2 different jails. The first jail was like, no, we don't have him. And we was like, well, we didn't even show you any pictures yet. They was like, well, is he black? Your husband? I was like, yeah. It was like, we don't have any black people here. And I was like, okay, let me show you a picture anyways. And so I showed them a picture of my husband. It was like, and we still don't have a black person that look like that here. So I was like, okay, cool. Okay. It was like, go to the other jail. It's bigger. Go to that jail. He not there. I have reported him missing at his embassy, and the closest one for his country is in the United States. They were saying that they can only register like his movement if he was to return back home to his country, or if he legally went through the United States, which he does not have a visa to go to the United States. I reported him missing at the Mexican embassy where he got his Mexican visa at. I also reported him missing at a neighboring in Belize, because we've talked before in the past about going to Belize, possibly living there. And even with my connections in Belize, my police authority connections, they was like, yeah, we looked him up and we have no proof or any movement of him coming in out of our borders. So yeah, I covered every base that I could cover.
My husband abandoned me 4 months ago. Here's a snippet of the video that he left the night before he ran off, and I have never seen him again.
Hello Kia, ukinijali kwa kila kitu, japokuwa pia una mapungufu yako ya ukorofi, yeah. Lakini ulinijali, ulinipenda. Oh.
Nakupenda pia.
Cool.
Oh, that's her in the background.
On live, you know.
We playing cards. He was like, let me see your phone. Put up the phone, make the video. I'm sitting across from him looking at him just while he's translating. And as you can hear me say in the video, he says, nakupenda, which means I love you. And then I say back, oh, I love you too. And that's when he was like, I'm on live. I'm like, I know you're not on live. Like, you don't even know how to work live. Like, what are you talking about? I didn't think nothing of it. So this man sat and played in my face. He sat and played in my face and made a goodbye Jane video to me, knowing I don't know what he was talking about. So this is what he was saying. He was saying that this man really loves you. He thinks the world of you. But he's saying that he has to leave to go find his way, to make a way for his family. As a man, he needs to go out and go hustle. Like, he needs to go get it. He can't just be here and, like, because he had lost his job. Like, he was without a job for a week. And he was like, he just can't not be the breadwinner. But I'm like, are we not a team? Like, why we can't hustle and thug it out together? Like, so that's what that was. Like, that's what the video was about. It was and it was like, you're my wife, I'm your husband. So regardless of how long I'm gone or where I go, you don't need to go get no new husband because I'm your husband. So you mine. What? It don't work like that, Pookie. Why? Call me. Like, tell me what's going on. So going back to when we was looking for him in different jails, and my friend was like, yeah, this is definitely a goodbye video. I was hysterical because when she was explaining to me the video, his translations, I had to hit my earphones in. So my friends in the car, they couldn't hear what she was saying. I was screaming, about to regurgitate. Like, I just could not breathe. I felt like the soul was sucked out of me, because regardless of anything and whatever the outcome may be with whatever he got going on, or the livelihood of our marriage, like, I truly loved him. And I knew without a shadow of a doubt that this man loved me down. Like, this man would, like, spoil me, take care of me, like, wait on me hand and foot. Like, we was locked in for real. So I just feel like, dang, like, why would you just up and leave like that? We had so many plans to do all these things. So, okay, boom. So after that, it was like, okay, let's wrap up the search party because he's like, it's not like he's in jail. He's not in no hospitals. Let's just go back home. So we went back home the whole next day, miserable, because it's like, dang, like, well, how long you gonna go without letting me know you made it, you okay? And you don't know nobody in Mexico outside of me. Then the next morning, my pastor, her husband, which is our marriage counselors, they got a message from my husband. So you reaching out to everybody except for me. And I will tell you on part 4, well, I guess this is part 3 and a response video, what he said to them. And I have a video for that because he sent them a video because I have my receipt.
All the stuff that I found. The TikTok, Instagram pages, they were brand new accounts. I know for sure they were my husband. The TikTok page, it was an alias. But let's say he was following maybe 8-10 people. All 8-10 people were the same identical people that he was following on his main page that I was aware of, that he had stopped using. Boom, this got to be my husband. Then I found an Instagram page. The Instagram page didn't have a picture of him, but it said his name. Like, he didn't even disguise it or anything. Like, he didn't have an alias like TikTok. Following a few people, very similar. Then on Instagram, it showed that he made that page a week before he left. And I didn't even know he had a new Instagram page. All right, cool. One day I'm walking around Mexico, minding my business, and the spirit speaks to me. And the spirit says, go back and look at that number that he texted you from 2 weeks ago to see if y'all are in any mutual WhatsApp groups. I go to the call log. I don't see we're in any mutual WhatsApp groups. But I do see that this number has now changed its phone number from a personal number to a business number. And the person has added a email. Why does the email has my last name in the email, like my married last name? So it hits me. This phone number is not a number that he borrowed from someone. This is a new number of his that he lied and said, oh, I'm borrowing this phone from someone else, so by the time you reach back out to me, I won't be with this person. Which explains why me and my pastor's numbers were blocked from that number, but no one else's number was blocked because that was my husband's new SIM card. But why go through all that? Somebody put in the comments like, hey, like other men would have just left. They wouldn't have left you no video. Hey, but I am glad that he did leave a video to have evidence on my hand that I'm not the reason why he's disappearing. I ain't do nothing wrong to him. Not to give the cartel or any other organized group a bad reputation as if they're over his disappearance. No, he left on his own. What else I want to say? Okay, so then I go do some investigating. And so I start to look at the people that he's following, and not only that, you can see he's liking all of on his TikTok. He went to his main page, liked all his videos. I can see the women that he's engaging with, putting like heart faces and hearts. I'm like, what? You gotta be kidding me. Then I see someone that he's engaging with. I'm like, who is this lady? I reach out to her and I was like, hey, this is who I am. My husband is missing. Do you know him? And she was like, yeah, I'm his sister. Like, I know him. Sister, girl, when? So we exchange numbers. We get on the phone, and I never talked to her, but she was saying like, oh yeah, I'm like his play big sister. Never heard of her before. He tells me everything, and yes, he did tell me that he had left because he had to go look for work, and he told me like there was like issues in your marriage. I'm like, what? And she was like, yeah, he has another friend that he's closer with, like another homeboy. Got in touch with the homeboy.
A scam doctor, a scam. Now, I've heard of this friend before. This, we're going to call him the doctor friend. Long story short, I'm talking to the doctor friend. He's like, oh, yeah, no, I talk to your husband every day. He's fine. He said he misses you. And I'm like, well, tell him to call me. But it was always a reason why he couldn't get my husband on the phone. It was always a reason why my husband couldn't call me. No, he's working, he's busy, and this, that. Mind you, I never told him that my husband said that he was going to Belize. He told me that my husband was in Guatemala. Why would he go to Guatemala? Like, that don't, geographically, that don't even make sense. He was like, oh yeah, your husband's in Guatemala and he needs 2,500 American dollars to take care of some situations that he's in. He also needs to send some money to his mom, and but he's working. And I'm like, it's funny how he went off to go hustle to make money for the family with me, but he's asking for 2,500 from the same woman he felt so bad about supporting him. So now he needs my money. And he needs money to support other homes, but what?
I think dude a scammer. Not the doctor friend. The actual husband. He probably like a scammer or something.
About my home? What about our home? That, like, it just didn't make sense. And then the friends start to get very aggressive. Well, you need to be more of a submissive woman, and that's the reason why your man not at home. And I am the one who will tell you, like, your husband listens to me. So if your husband decided to come back home, he came back home because I told him to come back home. And if he don't come back home, like, it ain't nothing for me just to let your husband know, like, hey, don't deal with her. He was saying things like, yeah, you might want to be nice to me. I'm the hand that feeds you because your husband said that y'all was planning on having children and that y'all was going to have children in Tanzania. We never agreed upon that. And I'm a doctor, so I was going to deliver your baby. So you might want to be nice to me. What? Who are you? Like, just every day was something else. Hey, do you have the money? He really needs the money. Da, da, da. And I said, oh yeah, I'll give him the money. Like, you can ask my husband. Money ain't a thing. Like, I got that. 2,500. Oh, he needs that. I got that. Tell him to call me. Tell him to video chat me. I want to see him. No. You should just send it. You should. Oh,
he the scammer then.
You don't know what he had either.
Both of them scammers.
You not talking to him every day either, huh? Now he did send me some screenshots with that showing me that he was in contact with his new number once he left. So I think that my husband was in contact with that friend once he left. But by the time I start to catch on to all this stuff, because they never knew that I found all this stuff out about him. I think about that time, either he lost contact with my husband or he was still, and he made it very clear, when your husband come back, do not let him know that me and you was in communication together. Like, you must promise to never tell your husband that me and you was talking, because he doesn't know that I'm talking to you like I'm trying to help you out. So I'm thinking that maybe they was in touch at first, but then they lost communication with each other. And really, he wasn't asking for phone money for my husband's help. He was asking for money for, like, him and his people. 2 days after he left, and I saw the goodbye video that he made me, of course, depressed and stressed out. My pastor, our marriage counselor, called me maybe like the next morning, like the second morning, just to check on me. She called back some hours later and was like, hey, we didn't know, but your husband sent my husband a video at 3:00 in the morning, and he sent it for you. And I'm like, what? Why would he send your husband a video and not message me? So let me put the video now of what my husband sent to the pastor's husband.
Hola, Father. I broke my phone again, so now it looks like this. And I sold the second phone. Now I'm going to Belize to check another issue there. So I bought this phone, it's not mine, before I moved to Belize. When I get there, I told my wife when I get there, I will text her. I told her I will never come back before to start to work. Thank you so much. I miss you all, and I'm so sorry if I make a mistake. But I will be back. Now I'm going to Paris because they speak English, so I think it will be easy for me to do any activities there. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. I'm alive. I'm still alive.
So let's break down this video. Now, I do understand why he reached out to the pastor and not me, because he's saying I broke my phone, so therefore I don't have my wife's number. But he did have the pastor number in that. He has a journal. He says that he's going to Belize, which makes sense because Tanzanians can get a visa on arrival in Belize. So, okay, I get that. But from the looks of it, he's not in a bus. He's not on the IDEO bus. He ain't on no Greyhound. You look like you in someone's personal vehicle. Who do you even know that has a car? And we've been walking for the past month in a hot Mexican sun. Since when you know somebody with a car? And since when you're scared behind who Mr. I love my life, you trust to be with some stranger at 7 o'clock, at 2 o'clock in the morning, riding in someone's personal vehicle. And when I get the number from the pastor that he said, oh, I'm using this phone, basically like by the time y'all reach out, I won't have access to this phone and this person. How come when I reach out to this number, sorry, I'm getting the Happy New Year's text messages. How come when I reach out to this number, it's showing that the message was sent but not delivered? And the same thing for both pastors. But when I give this number to other people, it's showing that their messages are delivered. But at that point, I'm asking questions now like, Ninja, you lying? But at that point, I really was oblivious. Like, what's wrong? Oh, how is that possible? But really, you really did have my number and you blocked me from contacting that phone. Oh, then you definitely assumed that by now I should have thought to watch that video that you left me when you played in my face. Because you was like, oh, tell my wife I love her. And I told her that I would never return unless I had money. You told me that in the video. But why you just Tony Braxton, just be a man about it? So now I'm hopeful. I'm like, okay, cool. You say you're going to, when you get to where you get to, you're going to message me. That's a 5-hour drive. By the time that I even knew about the video, you should have already been where you at, starting work on the first shift, picking up your uniform. Why you ain't called? All right, cool. Then it gets to a point, my neighbor above me, she's a married woman. We used to hang out with her and her husband. And maybe like day 3, she was like, yeah, he left you. And I'm like, girl, what, he told you something? She was like, no, but he left you. That he left you. And he's not coming back. But everybody else was just like, no, not him. No. He loved the ground that you walked on. He loved your dirty drawers. And which he did. And I did the same for him. Like, we was locked in. Like, that was my ace boon for real. Like, regardless of whatever happened, I mean, he ain't nothing to me now. But at then, I just could not even fathom the thought, like, he for real left. I did get depressed. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I was losing weight. I was starting to get delirious. I had a good friend fly me out to go be with her so I wouldn't be by myself.
90 days in, y'all.
I took a little trip just to kind of disconnect. It got bad because I wasn't even taking care of myself, neither was I taking care of my dog, which is bad. And I just prayed to God and I said, God, this week coming up, mind you, he's probably been gone for like, at this point, 2 weeks. Haven't heard from him. I said, God, this week coming up, please reveal to me what needs to be revealed. And like clockwork, within less than 24 hours, I found my husband's new TikTok page that he created with an alias. The day after that, I randomly go across his Instagram. Mind you, both times when I found these new social media accounts, I wasn't even searching for it. I was just scrolling. Oh, people you may know. Then The day, so that's Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, I found my husband's phone number and I found his email address. Thursday, I messaged him and I told him, hey, reach out to me because at this point I'm going to file divorce on you because you're abandoning me. And then, yeah. And then Friday, I got a phone call from his friend asking me, saying that they was in touch with my husband and that he needed 2,500 American. They love to say American dollars, to because he need help.
All right, I got the whole video of what he was saying, but it's in a different language, so I'm not even gonna play it. Might have some people who could probably understand. I don't know. Should I have put it in? I don't know. But right now, I'm just gonna skip over it because I don't understand it. You know, all I speak is English, so. But I got the full video of what he was saying, but I don't know. It's only a minute or something. Maybe I could put it in there. We'll see.
Okay, part 6 on how my African husband left me and I have not seen him in over 4 months, or after. I don't know where he at. I don't know if he's dead or alive. I don't know if he's in America or if he's with his family, like as in a wife or children. I don't know who I married. Okay, so the reason why I'm going slower with the parts because it is happening in real time, but I do want to answer a question I get a lot, asking if there were any signs that I noticed that he was going to up and leave me. And the answer is no. He was very attentive, very loving, very on top of everything. And even though he wasn't the sole provider of our household, when he would come in with his check, he'll give it to me so I can manage it however I need to manage it for our household. But I can say that God did give me a divine sign a week after we got married that told me clear as day, run. Leave this man. Like, not he gonna leave you, but I should have left him. And because I was grieving so hard, I was depressed, and I was so thirsty, so eager to be in love and to like have my partner and my person, I overlooked it. So let me tell y'all what happened. It's a week after we've been married, and we had not consummated our marriage yet because I was on my cycle, but we was watching a movie. We finished the movie. We get up to go get something to eat. Mind you, we are in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, so very big city, hustle and bustle, and it's nighttime, about 10 o'clock at night. We walking down the street to go get some food. And see, the Spirit speaks to me a lot, and I listen to the Spirit when God tells me. So God just tells me things like, oh, if I'm riding in a car, don't go down that street. Later I get home, it was a major accident on that street around the same time when I decided to make a detour. Or God will say, oh, that person not good for you, this, that. All right, we walking. The Spirit doesn't tell me to say this, but the Spirit takes over my body and says out my mouth without any of my control or subconscious, and it asks my husband, let me see your archives in your phone. And he's like, what? Because English is not his first language, so I can tell he was really confused, like he never heard that word before. So then automatically I start to describe to him what is an archive and where he can find that in his phone and his WhatsApp messages. So then I see that he starts to realize what I'm talking about. Then he plays this game where he plays like no speak la English. So that's when my flesh and body is like, wait, I don't know why I asked you that question, but you know what? Hell yeah, run me the archives. Let me see what you got going on, because I don't know where any of this is coming from. Up until this point, I never had any inkling that my husband was cheating, being unfaithful, being like using me or anything like that. But now I have to investigate this. So he gives me his phone. The first message in his archives is from a European girl. I can't remember which country she's from, Poland, I don't know. We're going to call her Becky. Becky has a message. This is what the conversation was. And this is the only conversation they had. It's like they just created this thread, which I know had to be impossible. But it was from the 20 minutes while we was watching our last 20 minutes of the movie. My husband says, hey, what's up? And she says, nothing much. Hey. He says, who are you with? She says, I'm with my friend. He says, oh, okay. Then she writes back, oh, so now that I'm with my friend, you don't want to F me no more? And he doesn't respond back. He just reads the message. Who is this? And what is she talking about? And I have so many questions because when I'm dating, I ask people all types of questions before. Have you been married? Do you have children? Have you ever proposed to anybody? Who, like, what's going on? So I've asked them before, have you ever been sexually interactive or dated a European woman? And the reason why I specifically asked him this versus other people that I've probably dated before is because a lot of European women come from Europe to Zanzibar, and they be getting down. Like, they get down with the local boys, the beach boys, the Maasai men, anybody. Like, they'll just have a good time. They trying to get their groove back. And shout out to everybody that does that. Whatever. But I also know that I don't feel like I'm, and it looks like a mutual beneficial relationship, at least from the outside looking in. The white women, they getting what they need from these local men. And then the local men, they getting that money. They living it up through the white women. But my thing is, I don't feel no better. Like, if you would take advantage and you would do that with a white woman to use her resources, I'm no different. Which he told me, no, I've never did nothing with that type of woman before. I'm not attracted to those type of women. I'm not a beach boy. And like I said, a beach boy is like a slur to them. Like, it's something you don't want to be. It's the guys that be on the beach, that be hustling, trying to finesse foreign women. So he told me, So I'm like, what's she talking about? He goes to tell me, oh, she be doing like cocaine and stuff. Like, she comes to the hotel because he works at the hotel. She'll come to the hotel and she'll be like high and stuff. And I met her maybe like a year ago. She's cool. And she got a boyfriend. Like, I know her boyfriend and everything like that. And I ain't never dated her, never been with her or nothing like that. So I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Let's go back to the room and let's talk about this. Because now I'm already thinking like, okay, we got married a week ago. I'm pretty sure I can divorce. If I leave tomorrow, it's probably gonna be like $1,200 to get a ticket back home, but I don't care because it's a last minute ticket. But like, I can get out of this. Like, I mean, I can get out of this marriage right now if I can. So we're walking back to the Airbnb, and he's begging me to stop and talk to him and things like that. Next thing I hear, a woman screams his name, like, hey, I'm gonna say his name, hey, Adam. I'm like, what? Before I even turn around, I already tell myself, yeah, we're gonna catch it. Now, whether you interpret a case or them hands, but I tell myself, yeah, we're gonna catch it. It's gonna get caught. I turn around and see who it is, because let my husband tell her he doesn't know anybody in Dar es Salaam because he's from Zanzibar and Mwanza. So who is calling your name at damn near now 11 o'clock at night? So I turn around and see who it is, who about to get caught, and it's the Airbnb host. Okay, she cool. She was just pulling up into the building at the same time we pulling up to the building. So trying to keep the conversation short and sweet, like, hey, okay, hey girl, have a good night. We about to call it a night for us. He makes it a point to tell her, hey, when you come into the building, can you please stop by our room? Because she has her own private apartment inside the building that we was leasing from her in. So I'm like, oh, you think you slick? You trying to have witnesses up in that room with us. But okay, cool. I ain't gonna trip. We get to the room. She comes in shortly after. And, we talking, having small talk. I'm not telling her anything that happened between me and him. And, like I said, at this time, he's now just saying, oh, well, that girl, she probably just high. I don't know who she texts. And she probably got me confused with another African guy, Tanzanian guy, whatever. So as the Airbnb host is in, now she's getting ready to like, okay, well, y'all have a good night, da-da-da. So then he's asked me, he was like, can I please tell her and get her advice? Like, she's married. She's also married to a European guy. She was like, well, she's married. Like, maybe she can give us some advice. So I was like, you can tell her, but I already made up my mind. I'm about to go. And I'm about to put you out. Because I had already told him, like, you know what, go ahead and get your stuff and get out of here. Knowing good and well that he had nowhere to go. The ferry to go back to Zanzibar, where he's from, was closed for the night and not till, like, not operating till 6 o'clock the next morning. So he told her, she was like, yeah, that
Did she just drop the country?
do look kind of suspicious, but you need to cut all ties from your past, like, period. So I said, yeah, before we cut ties with her, call her back. We called this girl 3 times. She never answered the phone. And I just took it as like, dang, maybe I'm tripping. And okay, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna let it go. It's water under the bridge because I feel like if it was something I need to know, God would have made it to where she would have answered that phone. Weeks goes by, months go by. I'm still struggling to get over this, and he would be like, well, I didn't do nothing. If you trust me, you should like forgive me. Like you have to stop bringing that back up. So I said, okay. I prayed for like God, please find my heart to forgive him. Not only that, he tells me, then he gaslights me and like, oh, well, you hurt my feelings when you told me to get out, knowing that I didn't have nowhere to go, and that's why I'm fearful to go to Mexico because like that's where you from, like that's where you live. So what if we in Mexico and we get into it and you put me out and I have nowhere to go? That's why I want you to stay with me in Tanzania. We can still stay in Tanzania. That's why I'm going to say there was no clues, no hints that he was going to leave me because he always wanted me to come to Tanzania. He was never on no go to America. But I'm going to say this before my time's run out. Since my husband left, I have reached out and I have talked to Becky. And she had definitely told me that her and my husband was screwing on each other right before I got married to him. So in part 6, I talk about the divine sign on how I found a message in his phone from a Polish girl or a girl from Poland. And she was like, oh, so since I'm with my friend, you don't want to me no more. And I'm like, what? Who is this? Anyway, so that's part 6. Part 7 is now my husband has left. He's gone. And me and my homeboy, I'm crying. I'm depressed. And I'm just going through like, I didn't see no signs. And he was like, well, what about that one time where you saw that message? I'm like, oh, man, that was probably my sign for me to leave. And then later on, I got a memory in Google Photos from when that night when I caught him with that message in his phone. I had went behind his back and took a picture of the girl number. We're going to call her Becky. I ended up getting a memory of that phone number on Google Photos. So I told my friend, like, this is her number. Like, what if? And then it was always a conspiracy of, if you never really had no money, how are you able to just up and leave? And you've been gone for 3 weeks now. So we thought maybe he connected with her or people back home and they're transferring him money. Because he didn't get no money out of my account. So, but you never had money. So how are you surviving? All right, cool. So me and my friend, we reach out to her, but he's doing most of the talking because a part of me, I'm still emotional. I'm trying not to crash out. I'm trying not to be depressed. So I'm going to rephrase the conversation between them. He introduced himself. He was like, hey, I'm a friend of my husband, a mutual friend of the husband. Have you seen or heard from him? And she was like, no. Is everything okay? What's wrong? My friend was like, well, he's missing. She was like, what, he missing? She was like, no, I haven't heard from him. I haven't spoken to him back in April, but my husband left in August. So I'm like, okay, cool. Because I had told him, I don't want you talking to her. If she just a friend, we ain't got no friends. I'm your friend now. And I'm really not that type of person, but I think it was just I knew something was going on, but I just feel like I was just too deep into it. So I was just like, cut it off. So I'm like, okay, well, he stopped talking to her in April. Look, that's a month after he got caught in March. So, what else? She was like, well, yeah, right before he left, he was acting kind of suspicious, the things that he was posting online. What else? And she was like, yeah, when he was getting ready to leave, he was very secretive. He didn't want to tell anybody where he was going. When people would ask questions at work or at his job, he wouldn't want to say nothing. He told me not to say anything. So then we asked her, we was like, so what did he tell you that he was going to? She said, he told her that he was going to the United States to do a bartending training. Mind you, he's a professional bartender in Tanzania. He's going to do a bartending training courses for 2 years. A European man was paying for him to take these courses, but before he got to the United States, they was going to do some traveling in Tanzania, in Kenya, and then South Africa. What blew my mind, because after we got married, we went to another part of Tanzania to meet the rest of his family. Then we went to Kenya to interview for the Mexican embassy in Kenya. Then we went to South Africa to interview for the Mexican embassy in Africa. What bartending classes? What European man? Am I supposed to be the European man that's paying for you to do bartending classes? You ain't never told me that. All right, so at this point, I'm like, wow, like from jump, this was a game to him. Never ever saw it coming. What else she was saying? She was like, yeah, but she was like, where did he go missing? In South Africa? Where? And I said, was like, no, he went missing in Mexico. She was like, what was he doing in Mexico? He was with his wife. Wife? He never told me he had a wife. What? And I was like, when last time you saw him? And she was like, the last time she saw him was the week before I flew into town so we can get married. That was so the weekend before I came, she met his family. She mind you, and them all up in my face, Hakuna Matata, her body sana, da da da. What? She met his family. She been to his apartment that he had cleaned out right before he moved to Mexico. What else? She was like, I mean, he seemed like a cool guy. She was like, I did not know him so long. I've only knew him from like maybe 2 weeks. But he told me he met her 6 months or a year before he met me. And she was like, but I can't say there is not a person that I haven't met that he wouldn't lie to. And I was like, wow. So then that kind of was the end of that conversation. Then she follows up and she was like, hey, did y'all ever find him? Did his wife ever get in touch? We was like, no, we haven't found him. She was like, well, don't tell his wife, but I have something to tell. And we like, okay, what you want to say? And she was like, me and him was hanging out one day, and he told me that he loved me, but we had just met each other, so I knew it wasn't serious. Mind you, me and him met October 2023. He met her the middle of February. Me and him got married the 1st of March.
Yeah, so he telling everybody he loved them. Shit, this ain't nothing crazy.
Okay, so then she was like, one time when we went to his apartment in Stonetown, we went there, but that day we was hanging out chilling. He was telling her that they need to pretend that they are a couple so that she won't be harassed by other beach boys or Maasai men or anything like that. So she thought that was odd, but she was like, oh, okay, cool. So he was holding her hands and he'll frequently kiss her. And I'm like, what? She said when they get to his apartment, they're in there chilling for like 20 minutes. They get a knock on the door. It's the police of Zanzibar in Stonetown because a woman in the village that he lived in saw him walking with the white girl and was worried that the white girl was being abducted by him, because they was like, why would a white girl want to be in a neighborhood like this? So she must be in that apartment against her will. So the police had to come in, talk to my husband. Then he went back into the apartment to get her so she can say for herself that, oh, this is my friend, I know him, I'm not here against my will, I feel safe. So then he has to pay a bribe to the police officers, which, mind you, before I came back out there, he was so pressed on, we have to get you a permission slip. We have to get you a permission slip because until we get married, that we have to go to a government office to get a permission slip. So if me and you ever get pulled over, they don't think I'm taking advantage of you as an American woman. And I'm like, what? I have a homegirl that has been living there for 8+ years and she's been married early on in her relationship with a local. She was like, I have never heard of that before. And I'm like, I have never heard that either. But it's not that he really cared to get that. It's just that he had that run-in with that white girl. So now he don't want to probably run into the same police officers, or maybe they documented down that they caught him with that white girl. So if they run into us again, they're going to be like, why are you with all these different women that you claim are your girlfriends or your wives or da-da-da. So we asked her, we was like, not to be in your business. Mind you, she thinks she's only texting my homeboy, but I'm with him. But she was like, did y'all sleep together? Did y'all have sex? She was like, I figured that you was going to ask me that question, and yes, we did. Wow. Well, good thing we got tested before we got married, and I followed up afterwards, so we fine. But it's just like, what in the world? And I said, well, when he told you he loved you, what did you say? She was like, I just didn't even acknowledge it because I had just met him, so I knew he couldn't be serious. I was just like, dang. She was like, yeah. that was pretty much it. And I mean, at that point, now that I'm getting this information, it's over, it's done. I don't want him no more. But it was just like, I think to myself, why would me knowing who I am, why did not press the issue of calling her back that day when we was in that Airbnb? I just let him tell me. Then he was gaslighting me, like, because I had said, get out, leave. And he was just like, when I first called him with those messages, and he was like, yeah, you're going to put me out when we get to Mexico, or you need to just forgive me because I didn't do anything, and you keep harboring over something that never happened. It's like, that's when it clicked to me what gaslighting really means. Because I know we throw the word out so many times, but I was like, wow, I was being gaslighted, manipulated, and he's a narcissist. And it took for me to see that. I'm on the phone with a homegirl. We talking about my crazy drama story life. And she was like, oh, yeah, I'm actually talking to this guy now. Can you look him up? Because I'm a friend. I can look up people's information. I'm going to research some stuff. I'm going to private investigate. Now, don't be messy and ask me, well, then, what happened with me trying to investigate my husband? Because I was going through some things and nobody understand me, man. I want to write candy, man, right? But things happen. And also, I'm very limited in resources on people that I can look up in other countries and continents. I can mostly do that stuff in the United States. Neither here nor there. So I look up the guy that she's talking to, and I'm telling her, okay, yeah, he has a DUI, does this, he went to this school, blah, 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 boom. Give her the information. Then it hits me, and I was like, well, since my TikTok people that be watching my stories, since everybody suggests that he probably went to the United States, even though his friends are still saying, oh, he's in Guatemala and he still need money, and because he need all this money, just send it to them, the friends, but don't send it, but they won't give me his information to send it to him, right? We already know that scam, boom. So I said, let me look him up in the United States. And as y'all said, he is in the United States. He has not been chopped up by the cartel or made into a burrito. He has not disappeared. He has not went back to his country. He has made his little happy way, his narrow tail to the United States. So I guess he got what he wanted. Come with me to file for an annulment on my marriage with my African Tanzanian husband who left me 5 months ago, and he has been nowhere to be seen or heard from. I'm pretty sure he's in the United States of America. So let's go file for marriage fraud and abandonment. Since today consisted of a lot of waiting, sitting around, and walking around, I'm going to explain what I got done today. Today, I filed for an annulment against my Tanzanian African husband who left me. An annulment is a legal declaration that a marriage is invalid or it never existed. It differs from a divorce because a divorce ends an actual valid marriage. Annulment requirements may vary by jurisdiction, but common grounds include fraud or deception, which is the category that I fall under, lack of consent, bigamy or previous marriages are still valid, marriage to a close relative, or mental incapacity. An annulment typically erases the marriage from public records, and both parties return to their premarital status. So therefore, just like most women, how we don't like to add extra bodies to our account, this marriage would not be added to my account the next time I decide to get out and try again. So I will have the peace of mind when a man asks me, hey, have you ever been married before? I can say no and have peace about it. Of course, I will tell them my situation. It depends, because you know how sometimes men be wanting to know they limits with you. But moral of the story, I got an annulment and I am ready to start moving on. As soon as I stop crying from recording part 9, I will post it on where exactly in America is my husband.
All right, and she never posted part 9. But, yeah, I figured he was scamming. He was just trying to get to the United States. But she lived in Mexico, so maybe she, is a citizen in the USA, I'm guessing. And so he got married. And I don't know how that worked. Because I done heard in some cases where a motherfucker get married and they still going through some type of paperwork or some shit. Like, they already got married. And, you're helping them get their green card or their visa or some shit, or does marriage just seal the deal and you can come to America? I don't know how it works, but I figure she was getting finessed. You know what I'm saying? But damn, boy, he was finessed. That's the my boy finessing like a motherfucker, boy. And like I say, it be the girls who be like, they be taking care of niggas, man. Like, she brought him in, have him someplace to live and everything. Like, that's crazy. Somebody need to, tell y'all that all the time. Somebody need to help, somebody need to let me move in with them. Let me just keep all my money, you feel me? And, shit, I just want to move in with you. Please, somebody, let me know. I don't want to pay nothing. Because, shit, he wasn't paying nothing. I be hearing a couple of stories like this where dudes don't be paying shit. The girls just pick them up, take them in. All I gotta do is sling some dick. I can do that. Oh, I can do that for sure. You feel me? Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with me, man. It's your boy Ray, Big Play.